Crystal Palace 1-2 Manchester United. The comeback that shows United's fighting spirit. Welcome back to United Daily Updates, the YouTube channel you can trust for all your Manchester United news and analysis. If you have not subscribed yet, please do it right now. We bring you match reports, tactical analysis, transfer updates, and honest opinions every single day. We are building the biggest and best Manchester United community on YouTube, and we need you to be part of it. Today I am buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Because Manchester United just pulled off a comeback win at Crystal Palace. We went 1-0 down. We looked disorganized. We looked like we might lose. But we fought back and won 2-1. This is exactly the kind of performance we needed to see from this team. The result that matters most. Let me start with the most important thing. Manchester United won. 3 points. Away from home. Coming from behind. Against a Crystal Palace team that has been in good form recently. Final score: Crystal Palace 1-2 Manchester United. Goals from Joshua Zirkzee and Mason Mount turned this match around in the second half after Jean-Philippe Mateta had given Palace the lead from the penalty spot. This was not a pretty performance. This was not Manchester United at their best. But you know what? Sometimes you do not need to play pretty football. Sometimes you just need to find a way to win. And that is exactly what we did today. After all the criticism, after all the doubts, after all the struggles this season, United showed character. United showed fight. United showed that they can win even when things are not going well. That is massive. How the match started. The match kicked off at Selhurst Park, and right from the beginning you could tell it was going to be a difficult afternoon for Manchester United. Crystal Palace came out with energy. They were pressing high. They were winning second balls. They looked confident. And Manchester United looked a bit shaky. Just 7 minutes into the match, Palace nearly scored. Jean-Philippe Mateta got a shot away that went into the side netting. Sen Lammens, making a rare starting goal for United, had it covered. But it was a warning sign. Palace were dangerous. Manchester United tried to respond. We won a free kick in a good position. Bruno Fernandes delivered a nice cross and found Casemiro. But Casemiro's header went wide. Close but no goal. The match then became very open. Both teams were going for it. It was end-to-end stuff. Palace would attack. United would attack. Back and forth. Very entertaining for neutrals but quite nerve-wracking for United fans. Palace keeper Dean Henderson, who used to play for Manchester United, was relatively quiet in the first half. But Lammens at the other end was being tested. Adam Wharton had a shot from inside the box that Lammens did well to catch. Then Daikai Kamada got a chance from close range, but again Lammens made the save. The young Belgian goalkeeper was doing well. This was a big opportunity for him with Andre Onana apparently not available. And he was showing that he could handle the pressure. The penalty drama. Then came the moment that everyone is talking about. The penalty. Actually, the 2 penalties. Let me explain what happened because it was quite unusual. In the 33rd minute, Mateta was running through on goal. Lainery Yoro, United's young defender, tried to stop him. Yoro stuck out a leg and Mateta went down in the box. Penalty to Crystal Palace. Now, Mateta is Palace's main penalty taker. He stepped up confidently. He struck the ball well. He sent Lammens the wrong way. The ball went into the bottom corner. Goal. 1-0 to Palace. The Palace fans were celebrating. Their players were celebrating. It looked like Palace had the lead. But then something strange happened. The referee was getting a message in his ear from VAR. They were checking something. What was going on? After a review, the referee made an announcement. Mateta had double-touched the ball. What does that mean? It means that when he struck the penalty, his foot touched the ball twice in quick succession. The first touch was accidental. But the rules say that if you double-touch the ball, the goal does not count. In previous years, this would have resulted in an indirect free kick to Manchester United. But the rules changed recently. Now, if there is an accidental double touch, the penalty has to be retaken. So Mateta had to take the penalty again. Same situation. Same pressure. But this time knowing that his first attempt had been ruled out. Did this affect him? Did he get nervous? Would he change his approach? Nope. Mateta was ice cold. He stepped up again. He struck the ball into the opposite corner this time. Again he sent Lammens the wrong way. Goal. 1-0 to Palace for real this time. You have to give credit to Mateta. Taking one penalty is pressure enough. But having to take the same penalty twice? That is tough mentally. And he did it perfectly both times. For Manchester United and Lammens, It was frustrating. They thought they had got away with it when the first penalty was ruled out. But Mateta made no mistake the second time. United's first half struggles. After going 1-0 down, Manchester United struggled for the rest of the first half. We just could not get going. The passing was sloppy. Players were giving the ball away too easily. The team looked disorganized. There was no rhythm, no flow, no control. Palace were well organized. They were defending well. They were winning the midfield battles. And when they got the chance to counter-attack, they looked dangerous. United had a few moments. Bruno Fernandes tried to create things. Amad Diallo was running at defenders. Bryan Mbeumo was working hard. But nothing was really clicking. There was a moment in the first half where Bryan Mbeumo got a yellow card. He angrily threw the ball down after a decision went against him. You could see the frustration building in the United players. They knew they were not playing well. As the first half went on, Palace could have scored again. Eddie Nketiah nearly broke through the defense. It was 2-on-1 against Luke Shaw. But Shaw produced a brilliant sliding tackle to block Nketiah's shot. That was a crucial defensive moment. If Palace had gone 2-0 up, it might have been game over. The referee blew the whistle for half-time with the score at 1-0 to Palace. United were lucky it was only one goal. We had been second best for most of the half. Something needed to change in the second half. What changed at half-time? So what did Ruben Amorim say to the players at half-time? What changed? Because the second half was like watching a different team. We do not know exactly what was said in the dressing room. But whatever Amorim told them, it worked. United came out with more energy, more intensity, more belief. The shape looked better. The passing was crisper. The movement was sharper. Suddenly United looked like a team that believed they could win this match. Palace still had possession at the start of the second half. But United were defending much better. The players were in the right positions. They were working hard. They were organized. And you could sense that a goal was coming. United were building pressure. They were creating chances. They were getting into good positions. The Zirkzee equalizer. Then in the 54th minute, 9 minutes into the second half, Manchester United got their reward. And it came from an unlikely source. United won a free kick. Not in a dangerous shooting position but wide on the right side. Bruno Fernandes stood over it. He looked up and spotted Joshua Zirkzee making a run near the far post. Fernandes delivered a brilliant cross. Zirkzee moved ahead of his marker. He was at a tight angle. He was heavily marked. Most strikers would try to head it across goal or lay it off to a teammate. But not Zirkzee. He decided to go for goal himself. And what a strike it was. He absolutely hammered the ball. A thunderous shot that flew past Dean Henderson and into the net. 1-1, game on. The United players celebrated together. The travelling fans went crazy. And Zirkzee, who has struggled so much this season, finally had his moment. Let me talk about this goal for a second because it is so important for Zirkzee. This is a player who has barely featured this season. His first Premier League start against Everton was terrible. He looked completely out of his depth. The fans were questioning whether he was good enough for Manchester United. And now here he was, scoring a brilliant goal to equalise away at Crystal Palace. What a response. What character. This is exactly what United needed from him. Was it the prettiest goal? No. Was it a tap-in? No. It was a difficult finish from a tight angle that required technique, power, and confidence. And Zirkzee delivered. Suddenly the whole momentum of the match changed. Palace had been in control. Now United believed. Now Palace were nervous. Now it felt like United could go on and win this. The Mount winner. United were not done. 8 minutes after the equaliser, they scored again. And again it came from a set piece. This time it was another free kick. Bruno Fernandes was over the ball again. Everyone expected him to cross it into the box like he did for the first goal. But Bruno had other ideas. He looked at the wall. He looked at the goalkeeper. And then he did something clever. He tapped the ball sideways to Mason Mount, who was standing next to him. Mount did not hesitate. He struck the ball low and hard. The shot went under the wall. Dean Henderson was caught completely off guard. He tried to dive down, but it was too late. The ball was already in the net. 2-1 to Manchester United. What a turnaround. The celebrations were massive. The players knew how important this goal was. Mount was mobbed by his teammates. The United fans in the away end were singing their hearts out. And what a moment for Mason Mount. This is another player who has had a really difficult time at Manchester United. He has barely played because of constant injuries. When he has played, he has not been at his best. The fans have been questioning whether he was worth the money we paid Chelsea for him. But here he was, scoring the winning goal. Showing why Manchester United signed him in the first place. Proving that he can make a difference when he is fit and playing. The technique on the goal was brilliant. It is not easy to strike a ball that cleanly from a standing start. You need good technique, good timing, good power. Mount had all three. And credit to Bruno Fernandes as well for the clever free kick routine. Instead of just crossing the ball in every time, he mixed it up. He surprised Palace. He created a goal. This is why Bruno is so valuable to Manchester United. He creates chances in so many different ways. His assists numbers might not always be huge, but he makes things happen. United holding on. After going 2-1 up, Manchester United had to hold on for the final 25 minutes or so. And it was not easy. Crystal Palace pushed forward. They threw more players into attack. They were desperate for an equaliser. And they created some chances. Bryan Mbeumo, who had a good game for United, nearly scored. He received the ball from Xerxes, dribbled into the box and got a shot away. But Henderson made a good save. Then Mbeumo tried again from outside the box. This time his shot curled just past the post. It was close. Too close for comfort. Ruben Amorim made some substitutions to help see out the game. Nasser Mazraoui came on for Lainery Yoro, who had not had his best game. Then later Lisandro Martinez came on for Luke Shaw. The return of Martinez was a big moment. He has been injured for a while. Seeing him back on the pitch got a huge cheer from the United fans. He is such an important player for the team. His aggression, his leadership, his quality on the ball. Having him back is massive. In the final minutes, Amorim made 2 more changes. Kobbie Mainoo and Patrick Dorgu came on from Mbeumo and Amad Diallo. Fresh legs to help close out the game. Palace won a free kick right on the edge of the box after Casemiro fouled someone. This was dangerous. A good free kick here and Palace could equalise. But the United wall did its job. The shot was blocked. And moments later the referee blew the final whistle. Manchester United had held on. 2-1 winners. 3 points. A comeback victory. Job done. Player performances. Let me quickly run through some of the key individual performances because there were some really good displays today. Starting with Sen Lammens in goal. This was a big opportunity for the young Belgian and he did well. Yes, he conceded the penalty. But you cannot really blame him for that. Apart from that, he made some good saves. He commanded his area well. He showed composure. It was a solid debut. In defense, Luke Shaw had a mixed game. He made some mistakes but also had that crucial tackle to stop Nketiah. Matthijs de Ligt was solid. Lainery Yoro struggled and was eventually substituted. This was a tough game for the young defender but he is still learning. Diogo Dalot and Amad Diallo as wing-backs both worked incredibly hard. Dalot was up and down the left flank all game. Amad was lively on the right. They provided width and energy even when the team was struggling. In midfield, Bruno Fernandes was excellent. 2 assists from free kicks. Constant creativity. He ran the game in the second half. This is the Bruno we know and love. Casemiro was better than he has been recently. He was not perfect but he was more solid. He won some important duels. He protected the defense reasonably well. Mason Mount and Bryan Mbeumo were both good in the number 10 positions. Mount scored the winner. Mbeumo worked hard and created chances. Both contributed. And Joshua Zirkzee up front, well, he got his goal. That is what strikers are judged on. He took his chance brilliantly. Let us hope this gives him the confidence to kick on from here. What this result means. So what does this result mean for Manchester United? Why is it so important? First, it is 3 points. In the Premier League, points are everything. We needed to win this match and we did. That moves us up the table. That keeps us in touch with the teams above us. Second, it shows character. Coming from behind to win away from home is never easy. It requires mental strength. It requires belief. It requires fight. United showed all of those qualities today. Third, it gives confidence. After the disappointment of losing to Everton in midweek, we needed a response. We needed to bounce back. And we did exactly that. This result will give the players belief going into the next matches. Fourth, it shows that Amorim's system can work. Yes, we struggled in the first half. But in the second half, everything clicked. The shape was good. The substitutions worked. The tactical adjustments paid off. This is encouraging. Fifth, it gives hope to players who have been struggling. Xerxes and Mount both scored. Both have had difficult times at United. Both needed a moment like this. Hopefully this is the start of better things for them. The penalty rule controversy. I want to come back to the penalty situation because it is causing a lot of debate. Should the penalty have been retaken? Is the new rule fair? Here are the facts. Mateta double-touched the ball. The rules say that if you double-touch the ball on a penalty, it has to be retaken. This is a new rule that was introduced recently. In the past, a double touch would have resulted in an indirect free kick to the defending team. But they changed the rule because they felt an indirect free kick was too harsh a punishment for an accidental double touch. So now, if it is deemed to be accidental, the penalty gets retaken. If it is deemed to be deliberate, like if a player tries to touch it twice on purpose to get an advantage, then it is an indirect free kick. In this case, the referee and VAR decided it was an accidental double touch. So the penalty was retaken. Now, should United fans be upset about this? I do not think so. Yes, it would have been nice if we had been given a free kick instead. But the rules are clear. The decision was correct according to the current rules. And you have to give credit to Mateta. He scored both penalties. He did not let the pressure get to him. From a neutral perspective, that is impressive. What this incident does show is how much VAR is involved in modern football. Every single decision gets checked. Every penalty gets reviewed. Some people love this. Some people hate it. But it is the reality we live with now. Looking ahead. So where do Manchester United go from here? What can we learn from this match? First, we need to start matches better. The first half performance was not good enough. If we play like that against better teams, we will get punished. We need to be switched on from the first whistle. Second, we need to keep working on Amorim's system. The second half showed what we can do when everything clicks. But we need to be able to do that for 90 minutes, not just 45. Third, we need to build on the confidence from this win. 3 points away from home is massive. Use that as momentum going into the next matches. Fourth, we need to keep Mount and Xerxes involved. Both scored today. Both showed they can contribute. Give them more chances. Let them build confidence. Fifth, we need to get more players fit. The return of Lisandro Martinez is huge. Getting Benjamin Sesko back from injury will be huge. The more quality players we have available, the better. The next few weeks are crucial for Manchester United. We have some important matches coming up. If we can string together some wins, we can really start climbing the table. If we keep dropping points, the season could get away from us. But today was a step in the right direction. Today showed that this team has fight. Today showed that we can win even when we are not playing well. That is an important quality for any successful team. Why fans should be encouraged. Let me finish by explaining why Manchester United fans should be encouraged by this result, even if the performance was not perfect. Winning is hard. Winning in the Premier League is really hard. Winning away from home is even harder. And winning when you go behind first is the hardest of all. United did all of those things today. That takes something special. That takes character. That takes determination. Yes, we have major problems to fix. Yes, we are not where we want to be as a club. Yes, there is a long way to go before we are challenging for titles again. But you have to celebrate the small victories along the way. You have to appreciate when your team shows fight. You have to recognize when players step up in big moments. Xerxes scoring when he desperately needed a goal. Mount scoring when he desperately needed a goal. The team coming from behind when we desperately needed a win. These are all positive signs. Amorim is building something here. It will not happen overnight. There will be setbacks. There will be frustrating performances. But there will also be days like today when everything comes together. The key is patience. The key is supporting the team even when things are tough. The key is believing in the process. Today showed that when this team clicks, when the players execute Amorim's system properly, we can beat anyone. We just need to do it more consistently. So let us enjoy this win. Let us celebrate the comeback. Let us praise the players who stepped up. And then let us focus on the next match and try to build on this momentum. Thank you for reading. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this match report and analysis. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. This is what we do at United Daily Updates. We bring you detailed coverage of every Manchester United match. We break down the tactics. We analyze the performances. We give you the information and insights you need to understand what is happening at the club. If you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it now. We post new videos every single day covering everything Manchester United. Match analysis, player reviews, transfer news, tactical breakdowns, and honest opinions about the team. We are not just another Manchester United channel. We are a community. A community of passionate fans who love this club and want to see it succeed. Join us. Be part of the conversation. Share this article with other United fans. Post it on social media. Send it to your mates. Let everyone know about this brilliant comeback win. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think of the match? Who was your man of the match? Are you encouraged by this result? What do we need to improve for the next game? I love reading your comments. Your opinions matter. This is our community and everyone's voice should be heard. Keep checking back for more content. We will have more match analysis, player reviews, and transfer updates coming soon. We never stop covering Manchester United because we know you never stop caring about the club. Thank you again for being part of United Daily Updates. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your loyalty to Manchester United. Until next time, enjoy this victory. Celebrate the comeback. And remember, we are Manchester United. When we are written off, that is when we fight back hardest. Glory, glory, Manchester United.